So I'm fixing the weather stripping here on the F250, and because the weather stripping of course goes along this, is held on by this lip, and they always rot out here. It is a 95 F250 and rotted out to full length on the driver's side, and here's the passenger side. And so the guy came and picked up all my scrap metal yesterday, my buddy, and he took the piece I was using for this here. So I got a sawmill, I got a saw blade. So we're going to weld that in there like that, and then I'll just grind out the teeth after, you know, with a cutting disc. And actually, it's a perfect size. It's going to work well. So I'm going to stitch weld that in there, weld that up, and then we'll show you what that looks like. And then I'm going to cut the teeth off the top. I mean, you could use any piece of steel. This is hardened, so actually the welding will take the temper out of it here, so which is not the worst thing, because it's a little brittle like it is. And then we're going to prime and paint this side here. The floor is actually in good shape, but we're just going to give it a nice coating, waterproof and salt-proof as much as we can. if you are able to actually salt-proof anything. And yeah, so I'll weld this in, and then we'll show you what it looks like, and then we'll cut these off and show you what it looks like. Yeah, so I got this mostly back in here the way I wanted. I did cut it down here a little bit further than I wanted, but that shouldn't affect anything. When I cut the teeth off, grind it all down, I meant to take a picture before that, and got it welded in here all the way along. I was going to stitch weld it, but I put a full weld in there, although it was very slow going because I'm using the flux core in the wind out here, and I find flux core mega pain in the ass, but it's too thin for stick. Anything I got here anyway, so, and too much to burn for brazing, so I guess flux, and too windy for gas, so I guess flux core it is. Anyway, I find it very splattery, but and I'm old. I like the stick welding the best one. I like thicker metal, but I'm happy with the way it turned out overall. Going to do these holes here now, because whoever put down the little door tread here before used roofing screws to hold it in place and drilled holes all through the floor. So I'm just going to cover all these, grind it off, take off a bunch of this rust, and we'll put down some red oxide primer. We'll paint it all up, and we'll spray it from underneath, and that should give me a couple more years out of this, three or four more years, hopefully, maybe more longer out of this floor before it needs to be replaced. You know, there's been a little patch put in here and a little patch put in there. But anyway, that's plenty solid there now. That's not going anywhere. It's stronger than the original, actually. And so, yeah, so I'll fix those up. We'll grind this down. I'll primer it, and I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done. I'm sure nobody wants to watch me grind this and paint it. Anybody that's doing this should know what that looks like already. And yeah, we'll go from there. So there. I got the holes fixed. I want to get fixed. I got all welded up and got those all done. Got my piece in. I wish I didn't grind that little dip in there, but anyway, you won't see that with the weather stripping on it. I got her all ground down, acetoned, Verisol acetone, cleaned up, and red oxide primer. I'm using alkali red oxide primer by Beauty Tone, Home Hardware in Canada, but any red oxide primer will do. The canned stuff puts on a way better coat. If it doesn't have to be pretty than the aerosol does. That's been my experience anyway. So there. So now I'll let that dry for a day or two. I did add a little bit of hardener, and then we'll go over that with black metal paint. So that'll fix up. This is all fixed up. The floor is done. The strip is in. We'll paint it. I'm not sure if I'm going to clean up the old carpet or put a new mat in here. I'm going to put on some new weather stripping. And this should be good for another 2 or 3 years. As simple as that. Easy peasy.